Prior to the First World War, there were numerous peacetime generals in the European militaries, as well as several university professors who were considered to be the greatest military thinkers and strategists alive at the time. They developed elaborate theories and philosophies and strategies for how modern warfare could be most expertly and successfully waged. And then the war broke out. Suddenly, the theories and philosophies and strategies were forced into the concrete world of actual military conflict. As it turns out, most of the great peacetime generals with their fancy degrees, accolades, and accomplishments turned out to be terrible wartime generals. Many of the elaborate strategies failed miserably. Very quickly, along with suffering significant and severe real-life losses, these militaries began to figure out which strategies and theories actually worked, and which generals and leaders were actually effective. This is the perfect metaphor for the topic of this video. Pardon my French, but many of us have this view that philosophy is essentially nothing more than mental masturbation. You think things through, you reason about them, and with enough thought and applied logic, you will come to the correct solutions. You will argue that your philosophy is true because of reasons X, Y, and Z. This may apply to philosophy of logic and related schools of philosophy, but the highest form of engagement with any philosophy pertaining to how to live a good life is to actualize it, to embody it, to bring it to life, to live and breathe the philosophy. Now, I'm not saying to avoid reasoning or thinking things through. This is often one of the best ways for developing hunches about which philosophies are even worthy of committing the time to implement and try out. But at some point, we must let our thinking mind rest and take Kierkegaard's leap of faith and test out the philosophy in the real world and see what results come from it. We must be open-minded enough to recognize that the greatest practical test for the veracity of any philosophical system is when the rubber meets the road. Does it actually work out the way you expect it to? This will lead us to a bit of a paradox, because the knowledge and the reasoning that a particular philosophy is correct may not have any logical proof to back it up, but rather the lived experience of the individual who has taken mere words and ideas and canons and who has breathed life into them and manifested their conclusions in reality will know through experience what works and what does not. So, don't merely philosophize. Actualize. Experiment. Be humble. Be aware. And be open.